Hello everyone, my name is Beckett and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today, and we got some big news in Division 2. We finally got the 11.1 update patch notes, at least most of it, so we know what's going to be happening. It's going to be coming out this Tuesday, so get ready. I already have my Ridgeways Pride. I'm going to be rocking that. I have a new build for you guys. We're never gonna die, I promise you. But before we get into the video, if you like the content, hit that subscribe. And if you enjoy the video, hit that like button. Really helps. We're going into a nice little Division 2 channel. Alright, let's get into this. First thing first, summit changes. They added threat scaling into the summit. Now, and what does that exactly mean? So it means as you progress through the summit, it's going to get progressively and progressively harder. There's going to be more lieutenants, more named enemies, a lot more going on. So it's going to feel more like a progression. Reaching to that floor 100 is going to feel much more satisfying. And not only that, with more named enemies, more lieutenants out there, we're going to see a lot more loot and a lot more diversity in enemies. And it's not going to feel as boring as it currently does. I would love to see them add some dialogue. I love to hear Kelso's sexy voice, just something to spice it up, because sometimes it's boring just hearing nothing. I have my Netflix on and stuff, but still, I'd like to hear a little dialogue other than just gunfires going off every second. Next, we have personal targeted loot going into the summit 2 as well. That is a great thing, and it's also a bad thing. I've talked about that previous, so I'm not going to go too in depth into it. Let's just get into what it is. So while you're in the summit, you can change your personal target loot to whatever it may be. Let's say you want to farm an assault rifle right now from floor 1 to 10, so you farm assault rifles to there. Oh, I want to change from 10 to 15. I want to farm Hunter's Fury set. Then we can do that, and so on and so on. And we've also added extra directives into the open world, all the directives that are in the game from launch. And the more directives you had, the more chance you have of getting that bonus targeted loot in the open world. And what Massive has said, basically, if you were on challenging and let's say you put 6 or 7 directives on and you have all those extra chance of getting that targeted loot, it would be like playing on heroic, but the enemies would be scaled down to challenging, but you would have to deal with all the directives. Plus, we'll also have the XP modifiers in place too, so XP farming might be a lot faster. We will just have to wait till Tuesday and do some testing and see what happens. Next, we have Ridgeways Pride. It is getting that huge buff, and I am so excited about it. I just finished out that long grind. I was doing it solo, and I extremely regret it. So if you didn't know what was changing, they have a talent called Bleeding Edge. Shooting enemies within 10 meters applies a bleed to the target. It is now 15 meters as soon as the patch goes live. Not only that, but depending on how many bleeding enemies you have within 15 meters of you, that depends on how much your armor repairs. And at the current state, it was only repairing 25% per 5 enemies, and that was hard to hit that, and it just didn't feel that great. Well, as soon as the patch rolls out, it's going to be for 1 enemy bleeding, it's going to be 3%. For 2 enemies bleeding, it's going to be 6%. For 3 enemies bleeding, it's going to be 12%. And for 4 enemies bleeding, it's going to be for 24%. And if we can hit that 5 enemies, we are going to be getting 48% armor regen a second. That is ridiculous. But I don't think we're going to be hitting that all the time. It's going to be in like weird scenarios, niche situations. We're going to want to be hitting for that 3 and that 4 bleeding enemies. Ideally, that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be trying to keeping up 3 all the time, and if we can get to 4, that's awesome. And if 5 happens in rare occasions, like if we're right at those doors, right when all the enemies open up and we're just unloading with our SMG or our AR, whatever we're using, it's going to be quite fantastic. And finally, they've added a whole lot of summit fixes, summit changes, the way summit operates, and everything is going to be much more rewarding. When you kill the hunters on floor 100, they're going to drop more loot. Doing the exotic quest for Ridgeways Pride is going to be easier. You're going to be able to get the pieces easier. The drop rate is going to be higher. There's just so many fixes and so many changes going on with this patch. This should have been the patch. They should have rolled it out like this, but they didn't, and that's okay. What are you guys most excited for this patch? I'm loving the Ridgeways Pride, and I can't wait for it to be buffed. Love to hear what you guys are most excited for, and until next time, you guys have a great day.